Welcome to PowerUp podcast, the podcast that seeks to empower and dismantle, giving us the power and confidence to question, deconstruct, rebuild, and expand in life. I'm your host, AmaRouge, voiceover and multidisciplinary artist, well-being advocate, food and book geek with over 14 years of movement-centered experience.
I am your host, Mesma, artist, choreographer, yogi and coach with a passion for alchemy, creativity, transformation and workplace wellness.
We recognise that we can't dismantle and empower or be empowered without first learning ourselves, diving deeper to unlearn the harmful, restrictive and unprogressive. It's an ongoing practice and journey for us all, which is why we created this podcast.
Our show features guests doing the work to enlighten, deconstruct and power up in their own magical ways.
We're going to be having conversations around the power of healing, transformation, well-being and creativity, and how they feed our personal and collective evolution, how they help us power up.
Hello to our listeners and welcome to our very special guest today. We have Julija Kubova joining us, who I had the pleasure of meeting at the Mind Matrix Wellness Enneagram training. And we have been mentioning the Enneagram a lot actually in our podcast. It's something that both Amma and I are very interested in, and it features in all of my work as an artist, as well as kind of in the work that I do as a coach and so on. And we just thought it would be super exciting to get Julija on to dive a little deeper. So welcome, Julija.
Nice to meet you. Nice to be here. Good morning.
Thank you.
First, for the newbies who don't know what the Enneagram is, could you describe it a little for us and actually maybe tell us how you came to the Enneagram, because I would love to know.
I think it was a journey for me because from, I think, 4 years old, I was asking myself, who am I? And when I was asking my mom, she was saying, well, you are Julie. And I was saying, no, really, who am I? And she was saying, she's like, you are a girl? And okay. But it was not enough. And I don't know, this question was always inside of my heart. And my first education was in languages. And when I came to languages, I was lucky to have a very young professor. He was from USA, actually, with Lithuanian parents inside of his heritage. And he said, but do what you want. Even in languages, you can do psyche. And actually, what I was doing, I was analyzing how different people speak and what can you see from their language. So I was connecting language with psychology. And after my graduation, I thought, okay, so what's going to be next? Because I could see that, doing morphemes and doing analysis of the texts, it's too easy for me. I wanted something more. I was looking for kind of field what to learn for, and classical psychology was for me too, I don't know, scientific, I could say like this, and not giving the answers to myself and to the people who I knew. So it was a case then me and my friend was a little bit interested in coaching. She was a big boss, in Lithuania, one of the biggest insurance companies, and she was doing biggest trainings. And she said, Julie, I have something for you. I was very young at that age. It was like 22 or 23 years old. And she gave me kind of brochure, and it was said Enneagram there. And I started reading. It was so fascinating because it was the first time the theory which I really started to read, and it rang inside of me like a bell, like, oh, it could work, because it was 9 personalities with short descriptions. And these descriptions was very precise. I really identified some of my friends and relatives. And I wanted to know more. And I found that in different country, by the way, in which I need to do a visa, it was non-European country, there is a training of Enneagram. And I said, okay, let's do it. So basically I was a student. I wasn't having enough, money for that, but I found a way how to do it. And we went for a weekend and found out how it's working beautifully. And basically, from 2008, I think, 2008, I'm investigating Enneagram. and I can see that it's really deep. That's the story how I came. Yeah, but if to answer the question, what is the Enneagram? It's a system which allows you to understand who you are.
Beautiful, beautifully put.
Exactly. So beautifully put.
Basically, you can find out the answers who you are and why you're behaving in this kind of type, and what makes you stressed and what makes you feel comforted. So, one of the benefits of Enneagram that it's a dynamic system. It's not static, because a majority of typologists are saying, okay, so you're optimist or you are melancholic and that's it, bye bye. And in Enneagram, we're saying, well, it depends. It depends on how do you feel, because it has stress and comfort points, and it has levels of development. And the Enneagram the only system which shows what happens to you if you are going under the stress factors, because you're going
Mm.
down under the level of development, and what happens to you, you are starting to behave in a way which is destroying either you, either the people and relationship which is connected with you. So you have two choices: either to grow up and to be the best version of yourself, and you can show and find out in Enneagram what is the best version of you, or you could be on average levels. It means fighting for your survival. Or you can be, if something dramatic happens to you, you might go either to lower levels. And what happens when you're starting to destroy yourself in different ways, by your fears, by your hesitations, by the feeling that you hate somebody and often yourself. And it's very nicely described, and you can find yourself there and really find a map. If you need a map, it's a very wonderful tool to have a map in front of you.
Absolutely. I know for me having that map. So Julian knows I'm an Enneagram number 4, and I love all the sides of that. In when I'm in my stress, I love all the drama that can bring me. And things, the number 4, just for those who don't know, is the not belonging belief. So it will be often the kind of the very artistic, tragic, romantic. And when I'm in my stuff, I can love the tragedy and, feeling so sorry for myself and all the victim. And then when I'm in my, really in my genius self, then I'm really creative and really in flow. And it's been so wonderful to dive deeper into this work and really honor that and understand, when I'm in my stress, I don't have to always go to that anymore. I can be that wise person. I can make that choice because I'm able to be responsible for myself. So it's really powerful work.
Really powerful work.
And it's not only about knowing yourself, like Ella mentions, it's also about understanding that you are much more than you can think. Because if you don't know the Enneagram, you think that you are your personality, your persona, and you are seeing only one point of view. But also, we have the essence. This is the part which is much, much bigger than you think. And if you discover your personality, and how do actually we develop our personality? Because when we are born, we need to survive. And our parents already have their personas, their personalities, and they show us, no, 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 to have your essence, it's too dangerous. And then we have kind of general conclusion that to be yourself, it's very dangerous. Maybe it's not too enough. Maybe it's too energetic. Maybe it's too sad. And that's why we're trying to be a persona, not really, getting far away from our essence and who we are. So basically, Enneagram is showing you the road, how to remember where did you start, your true origins, and how to get there.
Coming back home to yourself.
Yes, exactly.
Arriving at who you truly are,
Mm.
Yeah,
which is, it's pretty much it's a huge part of why we have created this podcast, because we really recognize there is this need to unpeel the layers that we acquire as we move through life, as society tells us shoulds, can'ts, cannots, musts. And we really recognize there is this need to come back to our true selves. And, I think both Ella and I are really engaged with and in love with doing the work to arrive at ourselves. And we recognize that there's so many other people who are moved in the same way, or who are starting to become curious beyond what's right in front of them. So, Enneagram is such an amazing way to do that, and to begin to understand that we are so much bigger than we perceive. Thank you so much, Julia. Ooh, just gold.
It would be lovely, Julia, to hear a little bit more about the three centers as well.
Yeah, basically, when you are starting to meet Enneagram and learn that system, the first idea which you can come through, it's the idea of three centers. And these three centers are connected with the types, because in Enneagram we have 9 types. And as you can guess, 3 types is actually corresponding with each center. So the first center we called heart center. And these types 2, 3, and 4. And this beautiful center is actually belonging to the idea that the best thing and the main need, we can say, the main need which I have is to make people feel special, they would make me feel that I'm loved and accepted. And you probably have noticed that if you want something in your life desperately, you never get it, because this is your ego part which wants that, like, I want to have it now. So the heart center, is something like this: I want to be loved, I want to be appreciated, right?
Oh my gosh, she's speaking my words. My script.
Yeah, so you can recognize that kind of people, but actually what they feel, because they so much concentrated on this need to be loved, it's the feel that I'm shamed that probably I'm not too good. Maybe I'm missing part of something. Maybe I'm not so clever. Maybe I'm too thin. Maybe I'm too thick. I don't know. I need to do something more in order to conquer, to have the love of people in my hands. Another center is head center, and this is types 5, 6, and 7. And this is completely different story. They absolutely not care so much how people treat me, what kind of relation do I have with them. What's interesting for them is what kind of future am I going to have? What is my potential?
Mm-hmm.
Am I safe enough? Do I have enough competence to be here in life? Sorry. And basically, what we're thinking, like, am I prepared? Probably I'm not prepared. So what I need to do, I need to prepare to learn how to survive, how actually to be here and now with this kind of people. So basically, they're looking for safety opportunities. I don't know, maybe somebody is recognizing now, listening that idea.
Maybe some of our participants right now are listening and going, yep, that's me too.
Yeah. But if you're number 7, it's a little bit difficult to recognize, because 7s, they're so much afraid of life that psychologically they decide to say, it's so much fearful, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to have fun. So this kind of 7s, they're looking for opportunities, how to make life wonderful, how to enjoy life, how to forget about all the worries. So usually they're staying always on the surface of the question in order not to go deep. Yeah.
Oh no, maybe I'm not a number 7. I'm such a go deep person. I'm like, I don't know.
Maybe you are very developed 7, because 7s, if they're on a high level of development, they like to be empathic, and they like to go deep and.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah, so it depends. It depends what you were doing in your life. Maybe you're really wow, am I going high level? So, but basically, typically, for example, type 5, they're actually collecting competences. competences, knowledge in order to be knowledgeable and saying, okay, I'm ready for life. Type 6s are actually collecting connections, friends, collecting, good kind of safe workplaces, because they are very, very difficult in changing the job or changing the relationship. And even if relationship is not satisfying anymore, they say, okay, at least I know what to wait for here. I know what to expect here. When you're going to a new relationship, oh gosh, it's everything from the beginning. So I'm sorry, I can't go and for a date because maybe he's too lazy, maybe something else. But basically, head center is always looking for safety, and the basic emotion is fear or anxiety.
So interesting.
Yeah, and the final center is basically body center. It's types 8, 9, and 1. And they have also very unique talent and a very unique need. And this need is to be respecting and fighting for their borders. They want to be always the leading one, the person who decides everything. So whenever they're coming to a new place, they're saying, okay, I'm here the boss. I know how to play here the game. So amazingly, eights and ones, whenever they're going, so they're saying, okay, so I'm here, so we can start.
I think we're all laughing because we all know it. We all know an 8. And we love them.
All types are beautiful, honestly. And because they want so much to be leading, the main emotion which they actually experience is anger. It's going not on the way what I planned. Why people are not listening to me? Oh, are they so stupid in order they can't do it from first time? So it's interesting, but the anger is their moving emotion, but also a destroying emotion. So in that sense, we have these 3 centers, the 3 different needs and 3 different emotions, which are dominating their types.
Amazing. Thank you, Julia. And what number are you?
I belong to heart center and I'm type 2. And that means, caring about people. And that's why probably I'm so much interested in coaching, in psychology, in education. Because it's somehow to help people, how to assist myself even better in order to be good in assisting and helping people with their different challenges in life.
Interesting. I know quite a few number 2s, and I find them such wonderful people to be around. I seem to really kind of radiate towards 2s.
Yeah, but all types are actually very, very, lovely. But having their special features, having strong qualities and something what we hide.
Yeah. And what about you, Amma? Do you have an idea that you might be a 7?
Yeah, I do. I do think I'm a 7, just from previous conversations, Ella and I have had. And then really interestingly there, Julia, you said when you were summarizing, you said, number 7 or no, head types are a lot to do with safety and finding safety, and to do with fear as well. And actually I recognize, it feeds into me with my birth story, because I came into the world in a really unsafe state. I came into the world really prematurely, and my nervous system was in fight or flight straight away, and I didn't have that touch with my mum or dad for 3 months. And so all of those things that would normally teach my nervous system, when you feel unsafe or when you feel worried, you're going to be soothed. I missed that period of time where I would have formed those understandings in my nervous system. And so actually thinking I was a number 7 from other things I'd heard, and then hearing you say that, it really just all ties together for me. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I should even more strongly now think I'm a number 7, and just can't wait to dive more into Enneagram and find out more. And especially what you said as well, with being a real empath and being really deep, that's just completely me. 100%. So yeah, I'm definitely even more convinced.
And I also think in terms of like finding fun, like the earlier part of your life and finding the joy and finding the fun. And yeah, there's so many, it's super, it's just such a powerful work. We love it.
It's very important to have this discovery of yourself, and probably the best recommendation is to identify your type by yourself, because other people see different parts in us. And it's very interesting how we are going for Enneagram like a map, step by step, identifying different events in our life, past experience, and then realizing, I probably belong to this type. So this is not like, putting kind of title to you. It's more about you finding your reasons of your past experience, of your history. So it really from you requires to have to invest time on that, to invest efforts, and to connect your history, your personal history, and the idea which comes from Enneagram. So I think it's a wonderful journey, which basically with Ella you can join and go through and find some beautiful ideas and insights about your life and what can you do with yourself, with your talents.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. I'm so excited, as if I'm not already like, over loads of other ways and avenues of diving in. Honestly, Julia, this has just given me another layer of excitement. And I'm sure there are so many people who are listening who are also feeling that little buzz inside them, or that curiosity that's opened up and they want to dive in more. And I just want to say, if anything Julia has said has resonated with you today or moved you, you can find her at mindmatrixwellnessstudio.com. She has workshops, Enneagram practitioner workshops on there. She has more information about herself. She's also on Facebook. We're going to link all of this in the show notes as well. So please do connect with her if you feel moved to. Julia, this has been incredible. It's been too short. And as always, I want more. And I'm sure Ella feels exactly the same. We want more. We want more.
Definitely. We want more.
Thank you so much for coming to talk to us this morning. Honestly, I feel that this is just going to inform my day and carry through now, and I'm super excited to dive deeper.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting and for being here. And I really encourage you to start your journey to yourself, maybe with Enneagram, maybe with another tool. But life is too short just to waste it not understanding who you are. So start changing and exploring yourself today.
So true. Thank you so much, Julia. Thank you, powerful people. We will see you next time with PowerUp Podcast. Thank you for listening. You can connect to us and our guests via the links in each episode's show notes. Before you go, we invite you to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the goodness to come. And if you enjoyed today, perhaps tell a friend to tell a friend. We are always grateful for you, our listeners, for our fabulous guests, and to everyone who has contributed to and been a part of our journey here.
Our music is by Tomo Carter. Everything else is brought to you by us, the PowerUp Power Team.
I'm Mesma.
I am AmaRouge.
And we are PowerUp Podcast.